Hello and a very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the daily current affairs analysis of the Shankar IAS Academy, and today's video is for the date of 30th of April 2025. So before moving to the topics to be discussed, there are just few announcements to be made. Shankar IAS Academy is conducting their All India Mock Test UPSC Test Series on these 3 dates. So the interested aspirants can join in the UPSC Test Series to boost up their prelims practice. And we are bringing Shankar IAS Academy's new initiative, that is the Shankar Summary, where we would be discussing important current affairs and practice questions in 1 hour for each subjects. So as of now, we have discussed for history and geography, and here we would be providing the link for you guys to look into these videos. And to further, we would be providing other videos for other subjects, and not to miss those videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the notifications. And now moving to the topics for discussion, and all the articles are from the Hindu. So the first 3 articles would be discussing from the prelims perspective. The first article would be discussing about the world military expenditure and India's stance on it. The next article discusses about the drop rate of tourism because of the terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir and their implications. The third article would be discussing about the election process of the Pope. And the last 2 articles, these are for the mains perspective. They would be discussing about the importance of the deputy speaker, and the last article would be discussing about the urban development and problems and challenges associated with the urbanization, in which aligns with the SDG level. So without any much delay, let's get into the articles discussion one by one. Now looking into the first news, in 2024, India's military expenditure was nearly 9 times that of Pakistan, Swedish think tank SIPRI. So a report published by an institute called the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, called the SIPRI, have released a report called the Trends in World Military Expenditure for the year of 2024, and it was published in this year, April. So what is this report is about? So the report is published by an international research institute called the SIPRI, who are a leading Swedish think tank, and they were introduced in the year of 1966 in Stockholm, Sweden. So they specialize in bringing in research and conducting research on issues related to conflicts, armaments, disarmament and arms control across various countries in the global economy. So they first collect data, analyze data, process the data and publish the data related to issues on conflicts, armaments, arm control and disarmaments. So the report published by this institute is basically data driven, and they publish a report called the Trends in World Military Expenditure. So here they mainly discuss about the military expenditures of different major global economies and bring in comparisons about the military expenditure by the different global countries. So why it is that important? Why we need to know about military expenditures, especially in this running economy? So here we all know that ongoing global conflicts or regional conflicts across various countries, such as Russian-Ukraine conflict, such as the Middle Eastern conflict, such as the Gaza and Israel conflict. So we all know how much important for us to know the military expenditure being used for all of these conflicts related, and how it has major impact on different economies. So here, first reason we can understand to know about the military expenditure is how such data, that is the military expenditure database, can help to look into the political, economical and social drivers. So we can understand their implications on global peace, global development and security. So according to this report and this institute, they are one of the main aim to know about these conflicts, disarmaments and military expenditure issues is to know about the roles of politic, economic and social drivers and their implications on bringing global peace, global development and global security. And the next reason is to bring transparency and accountability by different governments on the military expenditure, such as the military budgeting, military spending and military procurement. So there can be avoiding of usage of that money for widespread corruption. Then it can enhance the security needs, and also at the same time bring down the excessive spending. So according to the institute, these are the two main reasons why it is important to know the military expenditures of different countries. Now looking into or analyzing the report, here they bring in global military expenditure have reached record levels. So we all know how every country have been improving military wise and technological wise in the military. So here they have published that India ranked 5th among military spenders, and surge is due to the Russian Ukraine conflict also. So here, before moving into what the report contains, we should have a basic understanding about our military of India. So here our military is one of the most top 5 powerful militaries. So after US, Russia, China, India is among the India is among the fourth powerful country to have a powerful military. So our Indian military comprises of the Indian Army, Indian Navy and Indian Air Force. So now you can relate to the report here. Among the military expenditures, they have published that India ranked 5th among military spenders. So here India is 5th largest military spender, and the expenditure is almost 86.1 billion. So why this news now? It's very important because especially at this point of time where because of the recent disheartening news of the Pahalgam terror attack, now this report stands as a more defense for us, stands for us to face any situations when it comes to Pakistan country, as the report have told that our expenditure is nearly 9 times that of Pakistan. So here placing of the INS Surat or placing of the Vikrant, Vikramaditya, using of the BrahMos, now we all can understand that how India as a powerful country having the 5th largest military expenditure is 9 times ahead of that of Pakistan. Now, according to the report, there are top 5 military spenders. First is the United States, next is the China, third is the Russia, fourth is Germany, and fifth is India. Now, these are the key country expenditures. Here you can see the growth, especially for different countries: China, Russia, Germany, Ukraine, and Pakistan. So here in China, it is almost 7% growth. In Russia, it is 38% growth, Germany 28%, Ukraine 34%. So Ukraine stands as the highest country to bring in their military expenditure, and Pakistan is 10 billion expenditure comparatively to India, which is very, very low. That is almost 9 times, not just 1 time or 2 time ahead, but 9 times ahead. Now looking into special focus, here there has been sharp increase in European military budgets driven by the Russia-Ukraine war. So here not only India, you can understand the trends which is going in the global economy. In Germany, they are the largest spender in Central and Western Europe, and for Poland, there is 31% of rise, which is almost 4.2% of their GDP. This is just having special focus on the area of Europe. So in conclusion, we should understand that our country especially and global especially, there has been military spending which continues in upward trend. So there has been rising tensions which influencing the budgets also, and India's military have strengthened and it has been highlighted globally. So looking into our military, the main focus is to protect us from the external threat, enhance our internal security and help the civics authority, especially during the disaster managements and so on. So looking into this upward trend with consciousness, with having the mentality for global peace, global development and security as a first priority, our country India should be using this expenditure wisely for the upliftment of these 3 main goals. So I hope the article is clear, and this is the prelims practice question. So I want the students to answer this question in the comment section. First statement, India was the third largest military spender in 2024. Second statement, China accounted for half of Asia and Oceania's total military spending. And the third option, Ukraine had the highest military burden relative to the GDP in 2024. So tell me in the comment section on which of these statements are right. Now, highlighting the second news here, now there is understanding of how tourism can be used as a weapon against terrorism. So, since 2014, we have seen an upward curve of how Jammu and Kashmir have been increasing their economic development through the development of tourism sector and a positive change in their GDP, and how Jammu and Kashmir are being understood for being the safe destination for tourists as well as for the civilians present there. So here sources say that the Ministry of External Affairs are joining the effort to appealing to countries that have issued travel advisories. So here in the amid of the terror attack which happened in the Pahalgam district of Jammu and Kashmir, Pahalgam place of Untitled district of Jammu and Kashmir, which killed almost 26 tourists, 25 to 26 tourists, and due to that it has been led to 80 percentage of booking cancellations for tourists. So here different countries are bringing in travel advisories telling to their citizens not to visit Jammu and Kashmir and after the Pahalgam terror attack. So this brings a major impact in the tourism sector of Jammu and Kashmir. So here the Ministry of External Affairs, the Jammu and Kashmir government and other stakeholders, tourism stakeholders and also the Bollywood are involved in bringing in positive messaging and pushing campaigns to restore the confidence and promote Kashmir as a safe destination. So let's look into the tourism potential of Jammu and Kashmir first. Jammu and Kashmir is entirely known for its natural and scenic beauty, which including places like the Dal Lake, Gulmarg, Pahalgam, Sonamarg, and Leh Ladakh roads. So and also millions of devotees would be coming to Jammu and Kashmir for famous pilgrimage sites such as the Vaishnava Devi temple and for Amarnath Yatra. And looking into the adventure sector, they are known for their skiing, trekking, river water rafting, whitewater rafting, and their paragliding activities. And there is involvement of uh, enriching our culture, such as the Sufi heritage, their crafts, their cuisines, and their festivals to bring in local attention and community development. Now, looking into their economic significance, their tourism contributes almost 8% to Jammu and Kashmir's GDP, and this source is from the Directorate of the External and Economic and Statistics of Jammu and Kashmir government. So here there are two main sectors for Jammu and Kashmir to have their potentiality. First is the agriculture and next is the tourism. So in agriculture, there are almost 43% of residents in the agriculture sector, and they have been provided with employment. And Jammu and Kashmir is one of the leading leading place for the production of walnuts, and we all know Jammu and Kashmir is one of the sole place to produce saffron in the whole continent in itself. And looking into tourism, it provides employment to almost 50 to 60 percentage of the civilians present, and their GDP contributes to almost 8 percentage. So here in 2024 there has been a record of 26 lakh tourists in the Jammu and Kashmir. So in recently by the CM of Jammu and Kashmir in 2025, there had been announcement of 12 plus new destinations promoted, to such as promoting the idea of ecotourism, value based tourism. So for example, Dudhpatri, Bangas Valley, near which is 100 km away from Srinagar, which is near the Leh Ladakh border. So there has been promotion of even more new destinations in the economic tourism of Jammu and Kashmir, and now this attack has significantly brought down their statistics. So these are more statistical references for us to understand how important their tourism is to their place as well as to our whole country in itself. Here tourism rose to almost 2.3 crore in 2024, the foreign tourism have exceeded to almost 300% in the last 4 years, and for last 5 years for many Bollywood films and web series, it has been the scenic spot, and the economic growth have contributed to almost 4.89 percentage. Their per capita income is almost rising to 148 percentage, and the employment for the citizens have come down to 6.17 percentage. So now the impact of the Pahalgam attack has brought in 80 percentage of the booking cancellations, drop in their domestic and foreign tourist confidences, financial hit to the local tourism department business, because it all includes hotels, tourism managements, departments and so on, and it has brought in the employment rate down as it involves the civilians, and threat to the 2024's record momentum. So what are the government initiatives taken? Here, the post the attack, the Ministry of Environment are urging the countries to lift their travel advisories. Then there is joint center state promotional campaigns, engagement with the foreign envoys, and there is Bollywood outreach. And bringing in long term development, there are promotional campaigns such as the Dekho Apna Desh, where 2000 plus crore tourism infrastructure are being brought in under the PM development package. Then there is improved connectivity, Srinagar Ring Road, airport upgrades, homestay schemes are being promoted, bringing in entrepreneurship support, and there is winter adventure festivals. Now, Kashmir is known for its different scenics at the different seasons. So now we need to focus on the winter adventure festivals such as Kelo India at Gulmarg, and enhancing the security needs. So here there are more tourist police deployment in many tourist spaces and special security audits at the major tourist sites. So I hope the article is clear. Let's look into a prelims practice question. Arrange the following rivers of Jammu and Kashmir from west to east, and put in the comment box on which of the order is right. Now looking into the third news, the Vatican City has announced their conclave to elect a new pope after Pope Francis' death. So here the pope selection would be start on the May 7th, which is told by the Vatican City. So here first we need to understand why this news is important, because the selectors, that is the cardinals who would be selecting the pope, would involve India also, as India has 4 electors or cardinals who would be part of selecting the new pope. So first we need to understand basic facts about this city, that is the Vatican City, as there are many UPSC questions which is been asked around the Mediterranean Sea. So they are part of the Italy, and they are one of the landlocked countries. So here they are the smallest country in the world, which by area which is 0.49 square kilometer and population over 800 people only. So they were declared as an independent city state which is surrounded entirely by Rome, Italy, by the Lateran Treaty, which is in 1929. So here the city is governed by the Pope, who is the head of the Catholic Church and the sovereign of the Vatican City. So here we can see they are part of the Mediterranean Sea, and they are in the Rome. They are entirely surrounded by the Rome, Italy, which is one of the landlocked countries. So looking into their political structures, there is no separation of power such as the legislative, executive and judiciary, and entirely the powers are exercised by the Pope, which is the head of the Vatican City. So they have the papal conclave, where assembly of cardinals. So cardinals are officers, for example, who are part of the conclave or the papacy. So here papacy is known as the office of the Pope, who elects the new pope in the Sistine Chapel. So here, so in Vatican City, this is one of the important square place. Looking into their cultural references, they are home to St. Peter's Basilicas, Sistine Chapel and Vatican museums, and the entire city is known to be for its designation of UNESCO World Heritage Site, and they are one of the major center of Christian pilgrimage and religious diplomacy. So now who is the Pope? So Pope is the religious leader of the Vatican City, and who guides almost 1.4 billion Catholics worldwide, especially for the who is placed in the Vatican City. So here they are one of the moral leaders, addresses issues like peace, justice, and ethics. They are the head of the Vatican City, ruler of the world's smallest country, and elected by the cardinals. So here the cardinals are part of the conclave, which can be understood as an office or papacy, where they have members to elect the pope and looking into the government of the conclave. So they bring in special election called the conclave. Now, how the Pope is being elected? First, the death or the resignation of the Pope would be announced, and the process would be starting after that. Then, the vacancy of that Pope would be known as sede vacante. So, here it is the Latin word for meaning that the seat is being vacant. So, it involves the College of Cardinals who manage the church's daily affair, but not major decisions are made. So, after the announcement, the conclave begins, which will be happening in the Sistine Chapel. Here, only cardinals under age of 80 can vote, and they are locked, and the chapel is such as the conclave is closed until a new pope is elected. So, looking into the world voting process, each cardinal writes a name, then two-third majority is required. So, here up to 4 rounds of voting would be going in morning and afternoon. And this is a very interesting part. When the pope is being selected, there would be smoke signals given. So here, after each voting, for example, if a black smoke is being given, it has a meaning of no pope has been elected. But when a white smoke has been given, a new pope has been chosen. So here, looking into the announcement, elected cardinal would be asked if they are ready to become the pope, and if yes, they chooses to be the papal name. So here, they for example, are the former pope was known as people's pope. So here they would be known as a under a papal name. So under they will be announced as Habemus Papam from the St. Peter's Basilica. So here, which is the papal name. So here they would be given a different name. Now, why this news is important, as I told before, why this selection process is important? Because in India, the cardinal members are four present. Here, 4 Indian cardinals are eligible to vote for the 2025 papal conclave. So here, first is the papal from the Syrio Malankara Catholic Church, which is based on Trivandrum, Kerala. Then the Archbishop of Goa and Daman. Next is the Archbishop of Hyderabad, Telangana, who also includes the first Dalit cardinal from India. And next is the Syrio Malabar Catholic Church. So the significance of India role is here. It reflects India's growth influence in the Catholic Church around the global. And here, 4 cardinals were appointed by the Pope Francis. So here, these cardinals were appointed by Pope Francis in itself. So it highlights the focus on inclusivity and global of South and our preferences in the Christianity in itself. So looking into the major recent popes, these are the popes for the year of till the 2005, 2013, and recently Pope Francis 2025. So why Pope Francis is very famous? Because he focused on a lot of social justice issues, showing in a lot of compassion and also concerns to the environment. So he advocated for the poor, migrants, and a lot of LGBTQI inclusions. For example, blessing of the same-sex couples and also allowing baptism for the transgenders people, and reform the Vatican bureaucracy and lived simply. So here, for example, you would have noticed news is a lot on how the Gaza Christians were very worried on the death of the Pope Francis, as he would be calling them and he would be giving his concerns. So he would be one of the Pope who used to call the people who are in distress. So he is one of the most popular Pope of for the entire global and for the whole Christianity in itself. So I hope the article is clear, and this is how the Pope selection would be done. So this is a prelims question. Capturing which one of the following places was the objective of Crusade War? So for you to know about this, have a basis on the papacy and the originality of Christianity. So here the answer is Jerusalem. Now moving on to the next news, the office of the Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha, mandated under the Article 93 of the Constitution, has been remained vacant throughout the 17th Lok Sabha, that is from the year of 2019 to 2024, and it still continues to be unfilled in the 18th Lok Sabha, that is for the year of 2025. So what mainly the article here discusses about that, the according to the author, first the author signifies the constitutional provisions of the deputy speaker. So first the constitutional provisions for the deputy speaker comes under the article 93, where there is a mandatory election of the speaker as well as the deputy speaker, who as soon as may be elected. So here under Article 95 clause 1, the deputy speaker performs duties of the speaker in their absence. So here we need to understand the importance of the deputy speaker. So the article mandates the speaker as soon as may be, so indicating urgency and not discretion. So here the author basically implies on the importance of selecting the deputy speaker, as it is a constitutional necessary, it is a constitutional imperative and not just an obligation or not just a discretion or of an decision which can be taken according to the favors. So here deputy speaker performs duties of the speaker in their absence. So here deputy speaker is not a subordinate to the speaker, but they hold the powers in the houses according as same as the speaker, and they also proceed through all of the joint settings, joint sessions in the parliament. So we should all know that the deputy speaker comes under the presiding officers of the parliament, and under article 94, the office vacated on resignation or removal of the deputy speaker or loss of the membership, and through that they can be vacant. Next is the article 178 and 179. Here there are similar provisions for the deputy speaker for the state assemblies. So here there is an immediate urgency on implying the importance of the deputy speaker, as it shouldn't be taken as an optional work of the parliament to appoint them, as they are meant to ensure continuity, stability and institutional balance. So here even in article 94 it states that the deputy speaker remains in office until resignation, removal or disqualification as MP. So here the author also implies on the historical evolution. So there is importance of the deputy speaker being understood. The office traces back to the British India period, where the post of the deputy speaker was created in the year 1921 as deputy president in the Central Legislative Assembly. So here Sachinanand Sinha was the first to hold the office, and M.A. Iyengar became the first elected deputy speaker of Lok Sabha post independence, and later it was called as and later he acted as the speaker after the G.V. Mavalanka's death. So here you can see it's not just a subordinate role, but in the absence of the speaker, a deputy speaker would be very important, and it's not that for every sitting hours the speaker would be present. So they both hold the same powers throughout their post. Now looking into the role and powers, as I told, same powers as the speaker when presiding, and rules referencing speaker shall apply to the deputy speaker also when in chair. So it ensures continuity in the house proceedings, and it assists the speaker and presides when the speaker is absent. The deputy speaker can chair sessions, committees and sensitive debates, and is expected to be impartial after election. So here the author uses one of the most important words is the deputy speaker historically played a role of bipartisan trust and institutional balance. So here we all know, we should know bipartisan trust is how our Indian parliamentary or its constitution are based on the bicameral legislation. So here the trust between two parties can be bipartisan trust. So the trust with the speaker as well as the deputy speaker needs to be same in order, and it needs to be appointed as it is a constitutional importance and not it is an optional. Now, looking into the election procedure, first it is governed by the Rule 8 of the Lok Sabha Rules of Procedure, then elected by a simple majority of present and voting members. So, usually this election can be held in the second session but can occur earlier also. So, the tenure lasts until the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. So, until the 10th Lok Sabha, the speakers, the deputy speaker as well as the speaker were elected from the same ruling party. But after the 11th Lok Sabha session, there has been a consensus made where the deputy speaker can be from, the speaker can be from the ruling party, whereas the deputy speaker can be coming from the opposition party. So, looking into the significance of office, there is continuity of proceedings in the absence of speaker. So, this is one of the important point. If the speaker is absent, the deputy speaker, since they have the same powers and since they have the same knowledge about the processions and the happenings in the house, they can stand as a continuity of the proceedings. Next is they are expected to act impartially post the election, and they act as a constitutional redundancy during emergencies, support bipartisan, balanced by convention. Now here the problem is, since the 2019 and now till 2025, the seat has been vacant. So it ultimately violates Article 93 as it's a constitutional anomaly. Here it centralizes power in the speaker in itself, and there is a weightage of power to the ruling party in itself, as the opposition party are not filling in their seat through the deputy speaker. So here it brings an operational risk in case of speaker's absence. So if the speaker is not present, who would be taking the in charge? So here it brings an operational risks obviously, and it undermines the bipartisan parliamentary traditions. So here the author brings in a way forward. First, there needs to be a constitutional amendment to fix the election time frame. So, for example, we can take 60 days in this election or the election of the deputy speaker. Next, bringing in statutory mechanism for president to initiate the process if delayed. So, if this process is delayed, there can be mechanism for the president to initiate the process. And next, reinstate opposition's role by reviving convention. So here we should all understand that deputy speaker is essential and is one of the constitutional part and not just a symbolic representation. Here vacancy undermines constitutional and democratic norms, as it can have their delay on the larger picture, that such as the policy making in itself. And there needs to be timely appointment which reflects the respect for the rule based government and our constitution for the country India. So this is the article. I hope you are clear with the article. Now this is the mains question. I ask the students to put in the answer in the comment section. The Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha is a constitutional necessity and not a ceremonial formality. Critically examine the implications of prolonged vacancy in this office and suggest measures to ensure timely appointments. Now, looking into the last news for today, the annual survey of Indian city systems 2023 by Janagraha flagged the major gaps in inclusivity, sustainability, safety, resilience in the Indian cities present, thus hindering their progress on attaining the SDG 11. So, here basically there has been a report being published which is known as the Annual Survey of Indian City of 2023 by Janagraha. So Janagraha is an NGO based on Bengaluru, where they focus on the issues of the urban cities. So here they have published a report where they feel that there has been a major bridge between different indices of the SDG goal. So here SDG 11 focuses on the sustainable cities and communities, and they have 4 indices to measure, that is the inclusivity, sustainability, safety and resilience present in an Indian city. So the report basically highlights the gaps between these 4 indices, that is how inclusive environment a city provides, how sustainable development as well as environmental development are present in a city, then how safety a city is and how resilient a city, Indian cities can be. So here the author has been highlighting major issues First is urban planning gaps. So only 16 cities have been having a sustainability plan and only 17 cities have having resilience strategies. And next is how there is inclusivity deficit. So here urban poor and the marginalized in the urban city remain excluded from economic and social frameworks. So here we can see how even in a city there is stellar differences between urban rich and the urban poor. So here we can take for example one of the famous textbook example of the Dharavi of Mumbai. And next is bringing in safety disparities. So here there are uneven law enforcement which leads to varied safety outcomes across different cities. And environmental issues, so there is poor progress in pollution control, waste management and climate adaptation. Next is resilience deficits. Here there is inadequate disaster preparedness and risk planning among different cities, and there is data gaps as the resilience on the outdated census, that is 2011, and absence of real time tracking. And next is lack of SDG 11 monitoring. So there is no city level tracking mechanisms, only some state level efforts exist. So here you can give a reading on the article in itself. We can see how there has been annual struggle raise a pressing question as our cities where more than 30% of Indians live are prepared for climate extremes and rapid urbanization. So here you need to understand 30% of Indians are part of the city culture, and how urbanization bringing in growth and opportunities ultimately leads way also for pollution, congestion and environmental impacts, especially the underprivileged are being hit the hardest. So here the Sustainable Futures Collective in their report is India ready for a warming world, especially and this time period it's the summer season, and there has been a lot of cases related to the heat wave, as we need focus on long term planning for climate change in cities. So here we can see how the Sustainable Development Goal SDG 11 to create inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable urban environments by the year of 2030. So according to the article, here the editor has brought in to bridge this gap and supplement the indices used by the Niti Aayog to construct even more distinct indices, one for each pillar of SDG. They have ranked the different cities and especially 10 major cities, that is Hyderabad, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, Pune, Kolkata, Jaipur, Ahmedabad and Surat. And they have taken their resources from various data sets such as the census 2011, which is very outdated, road transport yearbook, Indian Forest Survey, National Crime Research Bureau, periodic labor force survey, National Family Health Survey 5 and Reserve Bank of India, Indian Meteorological Department climatological tables and Ola Mobility Institute Ease of Moving Index 2022. So here we can see how varied reports have been used as a sources to collect their database, as there is involvement of every sectors and every possible resources to gather the data. So the results provide key insights into the SDG 11, where among the 10 major cities, Ahmedabad ranked first in inclusivity while Jaipur ranked the lowest. Then here Bengaluru appeared to be the safest city where Kolkata ranked lowest in safety. Surat led in sustainability while Kolkata lagged behind, and in terms of climate resilience, Chennai ranked first while Jaipur was the least resilient. So here give the article a read and you can understand how there is differences even with the people and even with the cities in itself. Now, looking into the key initiatives taken, first, when it comes to mind, it would be the Smart Cities Mission called the SCM. It promotes sustainable and inclusive urban development through technology enabled governance. And next is the Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. They focus on the water supply, sewerage, and green spaces. Next is National Urban Digital Mission, which aims to build digital infrastructure for urban governance. Next is having integrated command and control centers. Here they bring in real-time data collection and monitoring hubs under these smart cities. So there is involvement of AI also. Next is state SDG monitoring frameworks. As I told, it is the state-wise which have been using the monetary frameworks and not city level. So here some states have adopted district level tracking of the SDGs, including urban indicators. Next is the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban, which is the housing for all scheme, where it seeks to affordable housing and address the slum development. So what is the way forward? It has also been given by the author. Here there is need to be an enabling of the urban local bodies level in the SDG tracking, conducting urban poor quality of living survey regularly. Next, leveraging the ICCs for real-time planning, strengthening the ULB's autonomy and capacity to ensure inclusive urban development where there is involvement of the urban poor also, as the urban poverty is one of the problem, a major challenge by the urbanization, especially in the cities. And next is integrating resilience into city planning and in their policy making. So I hope the article is clear. This is the mains question. Despite various urban missions, Indian cities continue a lag in achieving the SDG 11 targets. So examine the gaps highlighted by recent surveys, suggest measures to make Indian cities more inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are at the end of the video. Don't forget to give a like, comment and share. And to further not to miss any other content, subscribe to our channel. Thank you and have a great day.